Welcome to Conversation with a Conjurer. With us today is a double act called In2Mindz, and that comprises of Adam Casper and Franco Mattiello. I'm Daniel Rivington, this is Alex Johnson. Let's get to it.
Think of a two-digit number less than 20.
Okay.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Got a feeling. Go on.
Yeah, I got a feeling. What number did you land on?
14.
Now you have the option, okay? You can either change it or you can keep it there. So change it or keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it. Why did you hit 14?
My birthday.
Your birthday, huh? So let's see. Actually, change it one time. Change it one time.
Okay.
What number you change to?
15.
15. Would you believe if I show you this? What's it say? 14.
Let me get my glasses on.
It says 14.
Does that say 14 there?
But wait a minute. And then I have 16 here.
Wow.
So in between. 15.
Very good. Very nice.
Come on, I nailed it.
So, Alex, I want to show you something that I quite enjoy. So, we're going to do a little bit of elimination as well, a little bit of mentalism, and I want you to think. In fact, in a deck of cards, standard deck of cards, you get red cards, you get black cards. So I want you to choose a colour, swap it about in your mind as many times as you like.
Think of a colour? Just a colour?
Colour of a card. So it's either a red card or a black card, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you obviously thought of a red card, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if it's a red card, you've got a choice of a heart or a diamond. So as many times as you want to switch it about in your mind.
Yeah, I got one.
You've got a shape in mind, so it's a heart, okay?
Yeah.
You've got a heart. Okay, cool. Now, I want you to forget about the court cards. So forget about the Jack, Queen, King, and Ace, because everybody goes for that. I want you to make it difficult. So I want you to think of a numbered card, okay? And you've got a choice of any of the cards. One thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you're thinking of a low card, I want you to switch it for a high card. In fact, I'm going to give you the freedom of the deck. I want you to think 2, 3, 4 is the low card, 5, 6, 7 is the middle card, 8, 9, 10 is a higher card.
Okay.
So were you thinking of a low card to start with?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, well you can switch it or stay with it. Okay.
So
Okay.
if it's low, I can switch it to a middle or high.
You can, yeah.
Okay.
So have you thought of one? You thought of it? You thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not thinking of a You're thinking of a middle card, right?
No.
Okay, tell me. Are you thinking high or low? Where are you going?
The first one or?
Entirely up to you.
Okay.
In fact, go with your initial one there.
Okay.
Okay. You're not thinking of a 3 of hearts, are you?
Yes.
You're thinking of a 3 of hearts.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just show you that I have a little deck here. It wouldn't be that one there.
That's pretty good.
Cheers, mate.
It's very good.
To it. Thanks for coming and having a chat with us today.
Thank you, fellas.
So, you both love a good double team. Which one of you takes the lead and which one of you finishes first?
Well, I'm younger, so...
I get bullied. I'm older.
You can thank Peter Turner for that. So I'm actually wanting to ask you about working as a team together. What made you guys come to the point where you thought, oh, we're gonna come together and do this as a team?
I mean, Adam mentioned it for a while, and I always thought it was a good idea. We're just getting it started. Me and Adam were just used to perform individually. He did professionally on his own. I did it professionally on my own. And we used to have jams where it was just me and him. Like, we'd go to a little restaurant, we'd go outside one of his offices, we'd sit down at a cafe, have a jam, and he just said, why don't we just work together? And at first it started as an experiment, and then after a while it just clicked. It was just like, I can't even explain it. It just, do you know when something just works?
Yeah.
The audience reactions, how the audience perceive us works really well. The image that it creates of, I mean, how we look, you know, because we're kind of opposite. I'm smaller, he's really tall. I'm younger, he's older. He's got tattoos. I haven't. We're kind of opposite. So it creates this really good image that stands out in people's minds when we're performing for like laymen.
And what benefits do you think it gives you two, other than creating a strong image in their mind? Like, what
would you say, Adam? Like from a layman's point of view, and then I'll go into it as a magician's point of view.
Well, they kind of look at us, and he always introduced me as, "Oh, that's my dad."
Oh, that's my son.
Yeah, oh, that's my son. It's a kind of an icebreaker. I'm bald, he's ginger. He's very chubby, I'm very slim. No, I think I've got the wrong way around. You know, we just work well together, and the benefits really are, for me, is that he's a phenomenal card magician and mentalist. And supersedes anything I can do or create. But on the presentation side of it, that's my strongest angle. And I think the combination of his skills and my skills and our skills combined, we kind of have a winning formula. You know, that works for us.
Definitely.
So like Penn and Teller, you're the big loud one and he's the quiet one with all the moves.
He can get noisy as well, by the way, Dan.
I know.
He can get noisy as well, but yeah, it just flows. It works really well for us as a team, and you know, the spectators, the laymen, they kind of bond to both of us very, very strongly, and we interact, and we're just a little bit different. You know, not only physically different. And performing different. We're just kind of different, but we're very close and very tight, and it kind of works. It works well.
Who came up with the name?
My wife. It's the only good thing she's done. I hope she never ever watches this, but it's the only good thing she's ever done. Yeah.
She's done a couple of good tattoos as well, Adam. I think you're still on the shot there.
She enjoys inflicting pain on me.
That's it.
Physically, verbally, and mentally. That is guaranteed.
So is she the silent voice in the act then?
She has very little to do with it. She's very skeptical with everything. So any new routine I've just learned over the years, just don't even perform it for her. You know,
I'm the same.
Yeah, your partner's the same. You know,
I can't perform to my partner. It's like she knows me so well that we can fool a doctor, we can fool a lawyer, we can fool a CEO, but when we try to fool our own partners, I know so well that the psychology just doesn't. It's just hard. So I don't show my partner. I don't show her any magic.
I'm the same too. Yeah, and my partner hates magic and magicians. And me, she actually hates me as well.
Is she a tattoo artist?
She is, yeah. So she's good artist, very good.
And I know you run a vape shop, Adam, but do you do work on the side, Franco, other than the magic stuff?
Yeah, I do business development for a sport and physical activity qualifications company.
All right. And so is that mainly office work?
It's office work, yeah. Office work and some meetings as well. We'll go out there, we'll meet up with like training providers and stuff.
Now, you guys, do you think anything that you have learned at your job in the real world has helped with the magic?
Definitely for me. I started on the markets when I was 7. So, kind of talking to people, being comfortable talking to people, definitely helps with my performing and bullshit, really. I learned to bullshit at a very young age.
Do you run a storefront? Is it a vape shop online or a storefront?
He runs a vape shop in Crossgates.
Yeah. Has the magic helped you with with sales? People coming in. Are you the actual person in the store? Do you have customers or employees that come in and work for you?
Definitely. Some people come into our shop and think, "Oh my God, it's really, really busy in here," and Yeah, it's me just practicing new stuff on laymen. They're just laymen that come into the shop. It's brilliant. Gives me a good opportunity to get
Susan Boyle.
And we've got Susan Boyle as well. She's really cool.
She's good.
We've got a staff member. It's not Susan Boyle. He looks very much like Susan Boyle, and he can't.
I didn't come up with that nickname. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm
just throwing it out there because that's his nickname all the time.
Susan Boyle. He loves it. He answers to it.
No, his real name. Was it Ben or something?
Ben, yeah. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Now, networking events. You guys have helped promote your brand through networking events. What kind of networking events are you attending most of the time?
With us, it's mostly through the links that we have. So we do a lot of work with Alton Hall, for example. For Alex's sake, Alton Hall over here in Leeds, it's a higher end hotel and spa.
Okay.
Where me, Dan, and Adam are based. So that's just one of the people that we work, one of the companies that we work with. So when they have networking events and wedding fairs and things like that, they always invite us down. They always want us there. So doing events like that, that's how we meet people. That's how we meet to be wives and grooms and corporate people to get our paid gigs. Also we do street magic, so we meet people on the street. You just don't know who you're going to bump into especially in the city centre in Leeds, because Leeds is one of the main cities in the UK for business. You don't know who you're going to bump into. So yeah, just as much as we can, really. Obviously with COVID-19 situation, that's hit the gig market on the arse, but outside of that, we're very social people. Even there's a bar in Leeds that we do a lot of work with called Angelica's. That's kind of a higher end bar. So especially in the summer, it's just beautiful. They've got like balcony outside, nice trees. It's just really beautiful bar.
Just the aesthetic of the place is really nice, isn't it? It's like when you look in, it looks all modern inside and that.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Good venue, really good venue. It's our second year there now.
Yeah.
So,
and do you think
working in places like that helps promote your brand for sort of more upscale events, as opposed to, let's say, I do a lot of working class weddings. Do you think that helps you get into sort of more higher class events?
Yeah, we've actually got quite a lot of corporate work just from Angelica's. So from the clients they attract, work nights out, we kind of bump into them, the bookings for the Christmas gigs, bookings for the corporate events, the black tie dinners. We picked up quite a lot of work from there. It's been really good for us.
I do like your all's branding, with your pictures always wearing suits. I think that's really cool.
In reality, we don't. We hate wearing suits.
Really?
Oh wow!
I mean, it definitely sets you apart, and you look pretty badass. I thought in the two pictures I saw of you guys.
Yeah.
We try and mix it up, to be fair. Sorry?
Alton Hall, and one of them. It's one of them's where you're walking up the steps to Alton Hall, and it's like a scene from a movie, isn't it? It's like
where was that? That wasn't Alton Hall. That was with Pete Turner as well.
Yeah, that was Wentworth. Wentworth Hall. A good friend of mine, he's my accountant. He's one of the FDs there, so he managed to get us the venue for the day to shoot. And Pete and the team came down from 13 Souls and did an amazing job for us. So it's a good venue, really good venue.
Who took the photo?
I think that was the other Adam Casper, actually.
Yeah,
nice.
The other Casper.
Yeah.
The other Casper. I'm the good one.
Sorry, you said the other Casper's coming on?
Yeah. The other Adam Casper England, I was talking to him the other day, and so he's gonna be coming on sometime soon after we, get through some more people. But he said he's been very busy working on other projects and everything, but he said he'd do it, so he'll be on eventually.
There's a lot of stuff, that guy's got his fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I mean, look, I've never met anybody else with the same surname as me apart from my family, yeah? So I am Adam Casper from Leeds, the original, yeah? The imposter, the other Adam Casper, is also from Leeds and he's also a magician. So what's the fucking odds on that one, guys? It's like, I've never met another Casper, and all of a sudden there's another Adam Casper, and he's a magician, and he's from Leeds. Crazy, but nice guy.
Yeah.
But I am the original. Remember that. And I'm older.
You're the senior, huh?
Senior.
I don't think he'd like that analogy.
He's a good guy.
So how about the magic community? You know, all four of you live in Leeds?
Yeah.
So I know that Dan's part of the Leeds Magic Circle, correct, Dan?
Yeah.
So why does it seem like, you know, there's so many magicians in the area of Leeds?
Because we've got nothing better to do.
I was going to say, nothing more to do really in Leeds apart from party and learn magic and perform to laymen. The Leeds is a good old city, and it's got some good magicians there.
So we've got about 40 people at Leeds Magic Circle. Adam and Franco were actually with us for a little while, but we always knew their faces when they came along because we know them, and they were always coming to gigs, and not gigs, but the lectures that we had on, and then I think they were coming so often that it didn't make sense for them not to have a membership. Like they were spending more on coming to the lectures than, you know, because it was £10 on the door as opposed to 50 quid for a year. Well, it ended up coming to the point where they might as well just, you know, join in.
Anyway.
And then,
guess what?
And then Pete Turner became the patron for the club, and right up until the lockdown, we've probably been the most busy we've ever been at the Leeds Magic Circle, and it's been going really well.
Yeah. Well, we originally auditioned and was a member at Leeds Magic Circle, and then we went over to Bradford and we auditioned and got in there. And so we started doing. Yeah, true. Especially if you leave a tenner on the corner when you're auditioning. Yeah, so we're between Leeds, Bradford, back to Leeds, and it's nice to be back in Leeds, and great to have Pete Turner as patron, really. And a good president in James Ripley, so it's a nice little club, really good club, good guys.
So I was wondering, you know, when you go to do events, because you work as a double act, do you actually do the 3x3 thing where you have 3 tricks, three routines that you do for a table, and then move to then have 3 different sort of sets of routines that you do from table to table, or do you have, a different system?
What we usually do is, it depends how big the event is. So usually we'll approach a table together. Depending on how big the table is, sometimes he'll take one half of the table, I'll take the other half of the table, because if there's let's say there's a big event and there's loud music, a big table, that side of the opposite side of the table can't hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So we'll usually take half a big table each and do our own routines. For the smaller tables, we'll literally perform together. So our style is, when he's performing, I'll interrupt him, and let's say he's performing and reading someone's mind, I'll interrupt him and say, wait a minute, I'm getting a feeling. Can I just interrupt you there, Adam? I'm getting a really weird. Are you thinking of London? Is that the city? So it looks very impromptu to the audience. Sometimes I'll be doing some mentalism at a table, and then he'll just approach. Beforehand, we know this is going to happen, but to the layman, he'll just approach and tell them that they're thinking of someone called, you know, Michael. So the mentalism that we do together, it appears very impromptu, very off the cuff. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's one of our
that makes it more powerful for them.
Yeah, definitely, 100% more powerful.
Especially when we get a feeling.
Yeah,
we get a feeling.
Sorry, I'm getting a feeling, and then we'll just read the mind of each other's layman,
which is really nice and powerful. It's strong.
Something else that we do as well is we'll send each other thoughts. So let's say, for example, I'm doing mentalism to someone. I'll say to Adam, for example, or he'll say to me, because we do it both ways, you stand on the opposite side of the table and we'll say, I'm going to send you, I think I know what it is, I'm going to send you the fart. And then at the opposite side of the table, he'll pick up the fart, I'll pick up the fart, depending who the sender is. So I think it just adds a double whammy, if that makes sense. It makes it that extra amazing.
I know that Penn and Teller, they have their own, special and unique ways of communicating, ideas and thoughts to each other via code. Do you all have your own type of coded communication?
We have some, yeah.
I've got a feeling.
I've got a feeling, yeah. It's always a feeling first. You get the feeling. But we do a nice card routine, a cut to the ace routine, blindfolded together. And it becomes like a challenge. So we get a big group of people. We normally do this at the end. It might be a wedding. We get all the family together, both sides, groom's family, bride's family. And we get an area cordoned off, it's just for us, and we'll sit at a table and we'll be blindfolded. They'll have their hands over our eyes, and we'll shuffle the deck, and he'll cut to the first ace. And then it becomes a bit one-upmanship, It's a challenge. We have a £50 bet on the way to this event. We can cut aces blindfolded, and it works. It works, and it gives the layman an opportunity to get involved because they're hopefully got clean hands putting it over our eyes, and it goes down well. It's a good double up routine.
So maybe after COVID-19, we might have to invest in a blindfold and just not imitate it with it.
We'll have to see if there's any money in the bank after all this. We've got no work at the moment.
Yeah.
So your vape shop is shut down?
Yeah, that's been closed 3 months.
Man.
My wife's got a tattoo studio downstairs. She's probably not going to be inking this year until they get maybe, a cure.
Yeah.
It's okay selling vape, but when you've causing blood and bodily fluid, very, very close contact. So
things are actually beginning to open up back here. What about there?
Same. It's getting more and more relaxed. So
2 weeks away.
I can open the vape store in 2 weeks. 2 weeks tomorrow.
That's good.
But we've got the website, we've got the deliveries, and we're okay. We're okay. We're cool. It's been a nice rest.
Yeah.
I'm on my age, needs a bit of rest. Listen, my battery's going to go. I need to just get the charger, guys. 1 second. Yeah?
All right,
no problem. I'll forward this next question to you then, Franco. Do you two use a different character when you're performing as to your normal character? The sort of change your personality?
I would say, I wouldn't say change of personality. I would just say the same character, but it's enhanced. The same character, but slightly exaggerated.
Yeah, so you exaggerate certain aspects of your own personality that you think would appeal to people. Yeah.
So naturally, I'm confident. But as a performer, I think we need to kind of show not really a cockiness, but like more of a super confidence, because we're going to be dealing with big crowds. Some people might have had too many drinks, so you need to be really confident. The comical aspect is exaggerated as well, so we'll tell more jokes, in performance than we would in real life, and I'd say it's the same character, just enhanced.
So, when you approach a table, and this question is directed to both of you now. When you approach a table, do you sort of zone in on one particular person that you think is going to react well, or do you just try work the whole group?
It's weird. It's like we've both got a similar approach, but slightly different. So after I've said this, I'd like Adam to interject with something, because he can add a lot of value in this. But when I approach a table, there's a few things that in my mindset that I've got. Those things are, one of them is clarity of intent. So when I approach a table, I'm not hesitant. I don't come from a hesitant mindset of scared to approach, not scared to approach. I want to approach, but I'm scared. Do you know that iffy? That it's like a wishy-washy energy. Mm-hmm. It's like, have you ever been at ever seen like people who look like they want to do something, but they're scared of the reaction, so they don't do it? I can't explain it.
Back, yeah.
So as a magician,
you can see them fighting with themselves, type of thing.
Holding back, as you said. So magicians, you can go up to a table and someone can say to us, "Look, I don't really want to see anything." It can happen, but I don't have that in my mind. I'm 100% when I'm approaching a table, they know exactly what I'm getting at, and I'm not holding back. My second thing is assumption. I automatically assume that they would absolutely love to see the magic.
Yeah, that's the right attitude.
Yeah, and I feel in myself that when I'm doing it, I'm adding value to their lives. Because one of the biggest things that's in the magic industry that I'd say that is not spoken about enough is the away from magic tricks and more the inner performance dynamic.
Yeah,
what's going on in our head as performers. The fear of approach.
It's like whenever you know that you're going to be successful, and the opportunity for it to fail is minimized.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So that kind of goes into the question that I like to always ask. Do both of you, do you believe in magic?
I'm quite spiritual, religious, you can call it. I believe there's magic out there. I don't believe in magic like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but I believe in I believe there's black magic and voodoo out there. Yeah. But I don't believe the magic that our style of magic. I don't believe that anything like that's real now. Yeah.
What about mystical things that have happened to either of you that could not be explained? Is there anything that has happened, just like things that's like, dude, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really free-spirited and quite spiritual as well. So my train track through life has been quite different. And when you come through difficult situations in your life, you do that for a reason. There's a reason behind it. So yeah. I kind of guess I've had somebody or something on side, definitely.
Do you believe?
Do I believe in magic? Do I believe in magic? Nah. I think we can create the illusion of magic. And
do you believe that it's is destiny for you two to be magicians, or is it a self-fulfilling prophecy, or is it just coincidence?
I believe in destiny.
I think we were fated. I mean, I came into magic very late in life. I'm only 4 years in, and I had this awful teacher. He's actually sat on that camera there. So I was, Franco's my mentor in card magic, and I paid him for lessons, and we built up a friendship and a connection, and it's been a wonderful journey, and it's been very good for me. Personally, in my life, I've really enjoyed doing magic. I mean, I go to gigs, and it's not like work. If you love what you do, it's never work.
Yeah.
And when that changes, maybe I'll change and look for something else to do in life. But really enjoy it. I mean, I like people. I genuinely like people, and I'm quite funny as well. I know I'm a funny fucker, really. But yeah, can I go back to that question you asked a couple of minutes ago about approach on the
Absolutely,
table?
Yeah. We sort of brushed past that. Yeah. So was that the one about character, or the one after that?
About approaching tables. Do we do it together, or?
Yeah. Well, you've got into that. If it's a big table, working together. Small table, we'll kind of meet somewhere as well for an ending or a kicker. But like what Franco explained about inner belief and being confident to approach a table. I can honestly say I did my first pro gig after a 3-hour lesson.
3 hours ever?
Trick.
Wow.
I had 3 tricks that I just repeated until I was sick of it. But I had an events business as well, so I sold the magic as an add-on. And after a 3-hour lesson, I had the balls to actually gig and enjoyed it, and it went down really well. We got some really good reviews. Even I've only got 4 tricks now, so I haven't come very far in 4 years. But,
so anybody watching this, there's no excuse. If he could do it after 3 hours, you can too.
One 3-hour lesson.
I couldn't believe it. We did a lesson. Next day, he called me. Guess what? I've just done a gig.
I got paid for it as well. Paid gig.
That's amazing.
It was a good experience. You know, I look on the approach to a table. I've never ever had butterflies. Never had any fear. I've had nothing approaching a table because I know in myself they will actually like me. I'm a likable guy.
Yeah.
So normally when I approach a table, the first thing I do, I use 1 or 2 lines. If you look at me, I'm 6'4.5". Yeah. I look like Shrek. I've got tattoos on my face. Yeah. So at best, they're going to be startled and think, who's this? Yeah, that's number 1. And then, you know, I'm 51 in 2 weeks. So I announce myself, by the way, ladies, I'm your stripper this evening. And they go, huh? And I go, well, actually about 30 years ago. And it's just a little icebreaker like that.
So like a soft opener, just a joke, and then a joke on yourself too, in a way.
Absolutely. And don't worry, it's only Shrek. You know, and they start giggling because they can see, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So that automatically, that disarms you and makes you not be considered a threat.
Absolutely. All of a sudden, think, who's this funny guy? We'll have a bit.
Also shows you don't take yourself too seriously, I think.
Yeah.
And that's quite important. That's quite important when you're trying to build a rapport with someone, and they think that you can, and you know, you like going, look at this. You take yourself too seriously. You got a big image and bravado and stuff. People don't like that. I don't know if it's the same in America, but I think here it's quite important not to be like a bit too flash.
Yeah, especially on your intro, you know. You know, I open up with a funny one. I'm your stripper. Only joking. 30 years ago, I'm 50 or 51. Or the Shrek bit, and you know, there's kids that say, "Hey, look, it's Uncle Shrek. Do you remember me from the film with Donkey?" It's an icebreaker. All of a sudden, they think this guy's all right, and then I'll do a quick switch, quick routine. They think I'm absolutely rubbish, and all of a sudden they've got the right card in their hand, and they go, "Oh my god!" And then you're in. You know, and start enjoying it and putting the layers on the routine, and it's cool. And then we interact together as well. You know, like we said before, we'll come in. I've got a feeling, or you know, he's got a feeling, or whatever. And it's just a really, really nice way to perform. So if anybody's new out there and getting into magic, go pro, semi-pro, have fear. You know, fear of approaching a table. Don't have, you know, enjoy what you do.
Can I just say as well, what Adam said is so important in my opinion. Not taking yourself too seriously and kind of joking on yourself, because that takes the fear away. I think if you take yourself too seriously, you're more sensitive to what a layman's going to say when you approach them at a paid gig. And sometimes, as we all know, a paid gig, the pressure is on. Sometimes the person who's paying you can literally come up to you and say, "Hi, can you go to that table over there where my dad is?" And they're literally watching you walking over to the table. So you have to approach that table. Now, if someone's never done a gig and they're in that position, it's probably quite frightening. I can imagine it being quite scary for someone like that. So I think if you're able to just kind of joke towards yourself, I joke about my hair because I'm ginger, so I usually walk up and say, "Hi guys, you're having fun? My name's Francesco." I know it's a really weird name for a ginger guy, and I look more like a Paul or a John. But yeah, it is Francesco. I've been looking for the milkman for years. I can't find him, blah, blah, blah. So it's just a joke that I have going on. He has his joke. And I usually point to Adam and I'll say, "By the way, guys, that's my son." And then they all just, I swear, they all just laugh so, like, really heavily. And I'm in. That's it. I've not even done a trick yet, by the way. I'm automatically in, and already they don't want me to leave.
So in that short amount of time, you're able to not only, you know, win them over, but also make them engaged.
Yeah.
To want to see more.
Yeah. Before you've even done your first trick, they don't want you to leave.
A lot of people say, and I think I've heard you guys say this as well, always leave them wanting more. Now, do you, how long would you measure is leaving wanting more? Like, do you have a certain amount of tricks, or You just get a feeling. You get a feeling.
Yeah. I gauge it personally. I gauge how that interaction's going. Also, again, it depends how any interruptions. So sometimes a speech is going on where we all have to be quiet for a moment or anything like that. But if we've all got the time and everyone's enjoying it, I'll stay for sometimes an extra 5 or 10 minutes if they're really having fun. But then I definitely leave them wanting more, but I'll let them know I'll be around. Let me know if you want to see something later.
It's kind of 3 stages for us, isn't it? It's the approach where the icebreaker is very, very important. You know, so we've got them on side before they've even seen a card or signed a card or anything. So we have the icebreaker. We'll have a giggle with them. Everybody's super relaxed. Then we'll go into some card routines. We'll do a trick. I'll do a trick. You know, we'll do maybe maximum 3 tricks each, and then we'll get straight into the mentalism, and we'll do maybe 2 or 3 little routines, very quick ones. And by the time we've done the last routine that we're prepared to do for this certain table, the heads are absolutely shot. Yeah, the dribbling, and by the time they're dribbling, we've got to move on. So it's a good way. It's a good way for us.
Do you brand yourselves as magicians or mentalists? Like whenever you introduce, you say we're magicians or mentalists. You know, do people know what mentalists
are? Good question.
Well, you know, the thing is, Alex. Well, we ask each other, what are we, card men or are we mentalists? We really don't know. The thing is as well, a lot of the laymen haven't heard of mentalism. Yeah. You know, the word mentalism, and certainly for my persona, my physique, you know, bald as a coot, tattooed on face, 6'4", 20 stone. Mention mentalism, you know, you're going to jump on the table and start kicking people under the jaw. And I actually say that to them as well. Guys, we're going to do a little bit of mentalism. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm going to jump on the table and start going mental. No, it's not that type. I'm going to start reading your mind and your thought process. And after a simple explanation, you can actually see them doing a sigh of relief. You know, if
you guys completely floor somebody and completely blow them away, and like, you know, are you psychic? Do you deflect it, or do you say no? We don't believe in psychics. We're mentalists. There's always a technique behind it.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be honest there and not become a kind of like a fraud and say, I'm speaking to, you know, your anti-bet or you know, it's very important. That can frighten them to death. It's not our style at all. You know, at best, you know, they go, well, how can you do that? And, you know, I'll look at them and I'll go, I get a feeling. Just to backtrack a little bit, the question that you asked, Alex, about, you know, are we a magician or are we magician or mentalist? I always use that in my set. I always show a group of laymen a bunch of card tricks. And then at the end, as a joke, I say, by the way, guys, I'm not even a magician. And they all just start laughing their head off. And then I go into the mentalism. So I personally class myself now as a mentalist, thanks to Pete Turner. Yeah. I was a card man for 20 years. Me and myself and Adam, we went to a Daniel Madison lecture in Bradford. There was a guy in the corner with loads of tattoos, amazing everyone. It was Pete. And I just fell in love with the material that it was doing. The mentalism, everything he was doing, I just fell in love with it. He did as well, and then from that moment, we just started focusing more on mentalism.
So for the people that are watching this that, you know, are beginner magicians or not even magicians at all, what would you try to define mentalism as? What is a mentalist?
I think anyone who portrays reading your mind, basically. Portrays reading your mind, telepathy, anything of that nature, I'd say is mentalism.
Do you believe that mentalism has a stronger effect on people than, you know, card tricks or any other type of magic?
Yeah. Do you know what I found? People actually believe, like if you do a card trick and change a card to another card or appear the aces or disappear a coin, people know it's a trick and they love it. But when you do mentalism, I found very often people actually believe that you really read their mind.
I'm still not convinced. I'm still not convinced that Pete can actually read minds.
He's probably one of the best in the world at doing that.
Yeah,
like I'm sure He gets the feeling as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. He fooled me so hard so many times.
Amazing.
He's one of the only people. He's one of the only people who consistently fools me. Like I think like Franco's fooled me once or twice. You know, Adam might have fooled me. Probably not. But
is that because you're
not everything Pete does fools me, but definitely every time I see him, he fools me once.
Yeah.
Once.
At least once.
At least once. That's good.
I went to Blackpool. And I didn't get fucking fooled once.
Yeah.
Right? But every time I see Pete Turner, I get fooled. So once is a lot.
Let me share something with you guys. Yeah. The first time Franco and I met Pete Turner was at Bradford Magic Circle. Yeah.
That was a special day.
And Daniel Madison was doing the lecture. Pete's a good friend of Daniel's, and we sat down with Pete in a crowd, maybe 10, 11, 12 magicians. And you know, out of that crowd of people that we were sat with Pete, I'll be honest with you, some of the finest card men in this country. Yeah. Pete had a deck of cards. Yeah. He made all of us at every level feel like laymen. Yeah. That's the power of the game.
It was a special time.
And then he declared, which was even worse, hey guys, I'm not even a card man.
Well,
I know he says that.
He did say in the podcast with us that he, did card magic for years and years, and then he had an accident, with his hands, and that's why he switched over to mentalism.
Yeah, know the story, but phenomenal.
But do you think that's one of those things he kind of keeps private from, most, magicians, so that way he can have a kind of like a one-up on people that claim to be card magicians?
Well, he fooled like every magician, and like I say, there was some top card boys there, sat round the table, and he smashed them with a deck, and then announced he's not a card man. So
I went to Pete's house with my mentor, and Pete did card on the box and fooled a master magician, and not even just a magician, a master magician, three times with the same card on the box. Yeah,
that's him.
I'm not surprised.
We've been very, very privileged to get mentored with Pete.
And the thing is as well, he's the nicest guy as well.
A lovely guy, great friend.
He's a great guy. That actually moves on to my next question. I know you, Adam, you said that Franco's helped mentor you, and you just touched on that Pete has been a mentor to both of you. What do you have any other mentors, and in what way do you think that having a mentor has helped you progress as a magician?
Okay, so I'll answer this first if that's okay. So in the crowd when we first met Pete Turner, a couple of guys there that were top cardmen in the country. For me, Franco's that guy. Yeah. When it comes to a deck of cards, privileged and blessed to have him as a mentor. Yeah, sort your hair out, sort your head out. Come on, you get the feeling. I know you get the feeling. Yeah. So for me, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I've got with card magic. I've got one of the finest cardmen in the country, and with the mentalism and other things, I've got Pete Turner. So very privileged and very blessed to have the best team around me. And I'm not a great magician, guys. I can perform like there's no tomorrow. But when it comes to card craft, card skills, I'm probably average, maybe not even average. I bluff a lot, I wing it a lot, but I'm so confident at doing it, nobody ever knows anyway.
Your style's very Lennart Green, physically.
But
you don't have to be the best, to be popular and to be, it's mostly, the magic within you and the entertaining aspect of it. It's like
that's my strength. But having such a wonderful card guy with me and such a wonderful mentor in mentalism with us, it's just a winning formula for me. It's good. We all learn from each other, which is really nice.
For me, as Adam mentioned, Pete Turner, he's our mentor in mentalism. On the card magic side, my mentors have been not physical mentors, but Do you know when you've read someone's material so much that they've literally become your mentor?
Yeah.
The two for me have been Paul Gordon. I've been reading his books since I was around 13. And
he's coming on.
Yeah. And I've talked to Paul a lot now, and he's a really nice guy. And Harry Lorraine, I've been reading Harry's books since I was around 12. I'd say they are my card magic mentors. And the thing with Harry Lorraine as well is I dabbled a lot in his memory systems. So I use his memory training for some of the routines that I do. Memorizing a deck of cards when it's shuffled, all that kind of stuff. I did a bit of names and faces, numbers. My record with numbers was 109 digits I'd like to just say right now, most people, the older generation will know because they would have used it, but the younger generation, for memory training, Harry Lorraine systems do work, because I remembered a 109 digit long number forwards and backwards using Harry's systems. So it does work, and it's a really good tool for your magic as well.
That's good to know.
Really good tool.
I've seen him performing. I think on the Johnny Carson show. I don't know if you've seen a video on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Where he memorizes everyone in the audience's name, and then it's like Bertha, Steve.
The guy's just unreal.
Yeah.
The guys, and you know what? I learned. I'd say I learned mostly how to present from Harry Lorraine. That guy can present like no tomorrow. He's 94 now, and he's still doing card magic.
So
what an inspiration that guy is.
Paul and Harry Lorraine have got great styles.
Yeah.
Aside from how memory systems can help you with performing and everything, it's like the average person probably doesn't even know their own debit card number. What other ways do you think that these memory systems can be applied, to help your everyday life, even if you're not a magician?
I'd definitely say for business reasons and things like that, especially when performing. So if you're performing at a table of 8 people and you introduce yourself and they introduce themselves, if you remember everyone's name, it feels more personal to them. You've created a stronger bond, and you stand out to them. As a lot of people say, there's nothing sweeter than the sound of your own name.
Right.
Heard that before. So I say for that reason, creating a connection with your audience, you have to remember the name. That definitely helps. Also, if you're speaking to someone, and then they call you 2 months later to inquire, if you're free to do their wedding, and you remember them, and you ask about, so did you? Right. How did that training session that you mentioned go? Something like that, where you remember something that they told you 2 months ago, and you remember who they are, or you remember the name of their son that they told you, or something like that.
And then that also kind of goes into actually, being genuinely interested in the other person and actually thinking to ask questions about them and gain information, and then not only asking but actually committing it to your memory.
I think you're bang on. I dabbled a lot in the self-help thing. I love self-help, and I love Dale Carnegie. His How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Influence people, yeah. So we've all read
that book.
Have you read it, Adam?
Can't read.
All right, fair dude. Well, get Franco to paraphrase it for you. Get Franco to give you a quick note.
Yeah, I get a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Get a feeling. No, I haven't read it.
It's an amazing book.
By the way, speaking of that, I think, like magic and what Alex mentioned, to become a better lad, I think, and you can give me your opinions on this, to become the best magician that you can be, you need to learn skills outside of magic. Learning social skills, confidence building skills, we just mentioned memory skills, and I think self-help gives value to magic.
Definitely. 100%.
Are you into self-help, Alex?
I don't know, at one point I read over 20 books in a year on self-help. And one of my big mentors has been Stuart Wilde. He was known as the teacher's teacher in metaphysics, but he wasn't my physical mentor. I never met him in person because he passed away in 2013. But really, really big Stuart Wilde, supporter and fan.
Nice. What about philosophy? There was. You reminded me. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. There's a big English philosopher, but that also goes on to philosophy as well. Like, so there's self-help that kind of goes into philosophy with Marcus Aurelius, the old Greek philosophies of Stoicism, which is class of self-help. I think just learning these things really helps an artist.
And it also helps you reframe your mind, you know, from many different angles, you know. Reading is a really important thing, I believe, just because it helps you get outside of your own little narrow perception of, you know, reality. You know, maybe you can get that with watching TV, but, you know, it's like reading the quality books and
I agree.
People that actually have really, you know, put the time and effort into trying to understand, you know, what is reality.
Yeah, I agree.
I've read books about body language, and that's helped when approaching people. I've read books because, you know, magic in the minds of a spectator, sometimes they sort of associate magic with other things, such as tarot, palm reading, that sort of things. So I've actually touched on that and got quite a lot of information with cartomancy, which is where you use a pack of cards like a tarot pack, but it's just a regular pack of cards, you know, to read fortunes. And because it relates directly to the person, sometimes it's way more popular than you're doing the sickest mentalism trick or card trick, like because it relates directly to that person, and maybe they want to know what happens in 3 years, or if they're going to be with the boyfriend in, you know, 6 months or whatever. I think that, and using those skills that I've gained has actually helped me as a magician, as well as a hit at parties.
But I also, you know, like to talk about a little bit like the sixth sense and intuition, you know, like being able to connect with people. And, you know, there are various exercises and things that Stuart Wilde talked about in this book. One of the things that he said, though, that I thought was really powerful was the spiritual journey is only 3 feet, you know, 1 foot down from your head to your heart, and then 2 feet out, you know, to embrace or connect with the person closest to you. You know, so a lot of that can just be in your own head, you know, with just simple breathing, and then just putting your intention on other people.
Right, so you were a card guy to begin with, Franco. If you were to give yourself some advice on getting into mentalism, like this goes to you, Adam, as well, but I'm just asking Franco first. What advice would you give yourself if you were going to tell yourself about trying to get into mentalism?
I would say seek a mentor.
Okay.
That's the best piece of advice. Have you read Mastery by Robert Greene? Are you familiar with Robert Greene's work?
I am not.
He wrote like the 48 Laws of Power, 50th Law with 50 Cent, Art of Seduction, and 33 Strategies of War, and Laws of Human Nature. He's got a book called Mastery, which I read just for magic reasons, actually.
Yeah. Those are really big books.
Oh, he's an amazing author, amazing writer. So I got to a point where I wanted to develop more in my magic.
Didn't he do one 50 Laws of Power with 50 Cent? He did one with 50 Cent. Yeah.
He wrote that with 50 Cent. Yeah. But I bought his book Mastery just for I wanted to master performing more. So, and one of the biggest things it talks about in there is getting a mentor, and I think it's spot on. I'm so blessed to have, you know, going back to Pete, I can just, you know, go to Peter's for advice in mentalism, because I'm new as a mentalist compared to a card man. A card man, I'm 20 years in, more. Mentalism, I'm 2 years in. Obviously, a lot of the skills are transferable, as you guys will know. So that gives us an advantage, but definitely getting a mentor.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone to actually, you know, find a mentor? You know, like if you don't have access to them directly, just reach out on social media. Like, how do you even get noticed or even What would you recommend for that?
I think start off with what we both touched on. You with Stuart Wilde, myself with Lorraine. Read their books if they have them. If they've written books, read as many as you can. If they've got YouTube videos, watch them. If they've got social medias, follow them. And then on there, if it's like a long distance thing where they're quite far away, connect on social media. Use social media to our advantage.
Or if they offer, consulting, just pay for the consulting.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Priceless, absolute priceless. For me, anybody getting into it, if they come from a background of card magic or coin magic, it's like you're getting reborn again, because you have to start from the very beginning. It's like with anything that you're learning, you've got to start again. So I know as magicians, we all suffer from a little bit of pride and ego. I think really just open your heart and have a clear head and become teachable, remain teachable.
Yeah, that's what's really cool. Really cool about this podcast, because I feel like everybody that we've had on, has been a mentor to me, in their own way for every episode, just getting to know everybody and to learn what I can. It's like, I guess we're very blessed to have, the opportunity to meet everybody and to learn little tidbits, and everybody watching too has an opportunity.
Likewise,
I've been learning a lot
with them,
I've been learning a lot, but I think it's a lot. Sorry to cut you off, Adam. I've been learning a lot, but then I've also been thinking with myself, how do I put these things that I've learned into practice rather than just thinking about them, and I'll let you know how I get along with that later on. But there's a lot of things I've learned, but actually putting them into practice is a different thing.
Just keeping it simple really for me works. Keep it simple, listen.
Don't overcomplicate.
Absolutely. Don't overthink it either. If you're getting shown something off somebody like the likes of Peter Turner or Luke Germain, these guys are the top of the tree. If they've done a routine or they've created something, don't look to improve it because you're fucking bashing your head on a brick wall. These guys are the top of the tree, and I'm sure, certainly knowing Peter as well as a friend, that he doesn't just go with his first impulse. He dissects it. He pulls everything apart that he creates and gets it to the best possible thing. So concentrate for me on learning the basic of the routine. Don't try and change it.
I think work more, in my opinion, on the performance and shining your character out, creating that connection, being that person that the audience don't want you to leave. That's the most important part, not necessarily the trick.
And when you do leave them, make sure they're smashed up in a heap mentally. You've absolutely, you've lit the fuse. You've done them. It's all about doing them in a nice way.
until we get a feeling.
Yeah, have a feeling and then doing them. it kind of works, but mentalism's just phenomenal, and we've only just touched the surface of it, and getting the basic understandings of what we need to do at the right time. It's timing as well, presentation and time, and you get an opportunity out there to buy people's material like Pete Turner's. Massive investment.
One of the recurring topics that we've talked about with several people on here is pretty much just being true to yourself and knowing yourself and not trying to copy other people, but learning from them, but also finding your own way that's unique and special just to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Got to put your own stamp on it, but the fundamental thing for me is that you use what's been shown to you and then put your own personality with it.
I think
Franco, Adam, have you guys got a routine that you wanted to show us? Because I know that you've been working on a lot of original stuff.
I'm gonna let Franco do this. I don't want to outshine him. I've got a feeling. Enjoy. Watch this, man. He's very good.
So we've got a number of projects in the making right now. That include downloads and routines and things like that. What I'll do now is I'll dem something real quick. It's a quick card routine. So Larry Jennings, he had a routine, the homing card, but he had his own version, which I absolutely loved. Have any of you guys seen it?
Nope.
I know the homing card. I don't know about Larry Jennings' own version.
Yeah, his version was really nice. I loved his presentation, so I've kept that. Some elements of it, but I wanted to add I wanted to change the handling, simplify it to me, and add a stronger ending. So I came up with this routine. I'm going to just move this so you can see a little better. I don't know what you can. The screen that I can see is really small. Can you see everything there?
You can see chest, can see crotch, can see your hands keep coming. There we go. It's a bit better now.
Can you see the deck?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, can see the deck up to about. It's cutting about 1.5 centimeters of it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can see the full deck now. Can see
if I hold a packet of cards here, would that be okay?
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be fine. Yeah, that's exactly where it wants to be.
Okay. Let me just take a few cards off then, and shuffle the deck. So, I was playing cards with my dad a few years ago, and it was when I first learned how to play poker, just using a deck. And this was a poker hand that I had. It was a 2-pair, all red cards. But the only black card in the poker hand that I had was the Ace of Spades. Okay. In fact, just in case you don't believe me, you can actually see this. Look, we've got a red card there. A red card. Let me just get rid of these. It's in the way. A red card there. Red there. Red there, and then the kicker card was the Ace of Spades, which is a great kicker. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing is, I'm quite a superstitious guy, so I said to my dad, I said, "Look, Dad, I like the poker hand you've given me, but I don't really like this Ace of Spades that you've given me. I think it's a bad luck card. In fact, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't want the Ace of Spades in my hand." He said, "Son, you've got to learn to play with a full deck." He put his hand over the deck and said, "Ace, go back," and believe it or not, the ace came back. At this point, I said, "Dad, I don't think you understand. You see, I really hate this card. In fact, I'm going to get rid of it. I really do not want this card in my poker hand." He said, "Son, you've got to learn to play with a full deck. Ace, go back," and believe it or not, the ace came back. At this point, I said, "Dad, you don't understand. Even in tarot, they consider this card as like a death card. That's how bad it is. I really do not want this card in my hand. Let me just get rid of it." He said, "Son, I will not play cards with you until you learn how to play with a full deck. Ace, go back." And believe it or not, when I checked, yeah, it came back. At this point, I said, "Dad, you don't understand. I will refuse to play if I have to play with that Ace of Spades in there. I just don't want to use it." He said, "Son, you can't be a cheat. Play with a full deck. Ace, go back." And believe it or not, once again, the ace came back. But you know what? Something dawned on me at the end. It dawned on me that it was good that I listened to him at the end, because I won the game with the 4 of a kind aces. And by the way, you can actually check them out for yourself. It really is just the aces. And there you go.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice, brother.
Nice routine. Can be done with any deck. Borrow a deck and you're ready. There's no major setups or anything like that. And it's a nice routine. People love stories.
Yeah, and the way you presented it is really nice.
I mean, I only created it 3 days ago.
Yeah, well,
I've been working on it.
That just goes to show how good you are at presenting.
Thank you.
It really showcases that.
Thank you.
Because the thing that I get from both of you guys is, I mean, Franco, you're really good with technical stuff, but when I've actually seen you guys perform for laymen, it's definitely the performance that shines. I mean, a layman doesn't know that you're doing a fancy move that took you 10 years to learn, and you had to practice it on the toilet for 15 hours every day. And it doesn't make any difference. I mean, to a layman, you might as well be using a Svengali deck, because they don't know how much effort really goes into some of this stuff. And it's really the presentation that sets you apart as being a magician. And that's one accolade I'd give to both of you guys, that you're nailing it. And you're doing a fucking great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thanks, mate.
Did you have any other tricks that you wanted to show, or
would you like to see something else?
I mean, we're happy to use.
I'll tell you what. I'll show you something else. I'll show you. I'm at Adam's house right now. So I've just brought a deck with me because Adam doesn't have enough decks. He's only got 98 decks on that shelf.
Only.
And 10 bricks in the car.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll last him the week.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So Dave Vernon's Twisting the Ace routine is a nice routine that most of us know. I came up with my own version. So I'm just going to get the 4 cards out, ace, 2, 3, 4 hearts out, and then I'll change the camera so you can see. Okay, there it is. Okay, I'm going to move the camera back again like we did last time. So if I don't need the deck, if I hold the packet, can you see okay?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Okay. So ace, 2, 3, 4 hearts, okay? Now, ordinarily, there's loads of endings for this. I'm just going to show you the basic form because it's the logistics of this camera is a bit strange. So someone says stop.
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 Right here. And obviously they can remember the card. So let's have a look at that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll lose the card into the deck. And we'll get back to that in a moment, okay? Right now, though, we've got the ace, 2, 3, 4 of hearts. And that's what we need for this routine. So I'm going to try something with this. Ordinarily, people to turn a card over, they'll do this. Okay? However, I don't want to do that. I've got a different way to turn a card over. If I just shake, you see, the ace of hearts will actually turn itself over. But if I shake again, I can actually send the ace of hearts back to normal, you see. I'll tell you what, I'll do it with the 2, just like that, and we get the 2. So I've done the ace and I've done the 2, now I need to do the 3 watch. Bam! You see it go? It was fast. There it is, the 3. And obviously, if I shake it back, I can send the 3 back to normal. The only one I need to do now is the 4, which is a difficult one. If I do this, do you know what happens? Yeah, we get the 4. So now I've done the ace, I've done the 2. I need the 3 and the 4. But do you know what would make this effect a lot better? If you guys chose which card that twisted. So obviously, we've got the ace, 2, 3, 4. What I want you guys, Alex, which one would you like me to twist?
The ace of hearts.
The ace of hearts, yeah? All right, I've got a question for you. Is the ace of hearts face up?
Yes.
Is the ace of hearts face up still?
It
and
is.
I put it in the middle of the packet. I push it all the way into the middle. Is it still face up?
Yes.
If you wait exactly 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, that's all we need to do, and it turns over. We've got that one there, the 2, the 3, and the 4. And I put this on the spectator's hand and I said, I'll tell you what, I'll find your card as well. And there you go.
Very nice. Very, very good.
That's a nice kicker on the end of that, yeah.
Really nice, yeah. And there's loads of endings to it. I've added a mystery card ending. I've added loads of different transposition ending. There's loads of different endings. But In2Mindz are developing a course of effects and downloads, and those 2 things that you've just seen will be included in that. That'll be ready soon.
Very nice.
Makes a great gift as well, you know, birthdays, Christmas. Anybody interested in magic, amazing. Treat yourself. I get a feeling. Treat yourself.
Got a feeling.
Thanks for joining us today. Please like, subscribe, all the things, and we hope to see everybody at home again. Franco, Adam, thanks for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
We hope to have you on again sometime soon. Where can people find you? Where do you want people to follow you or like?
So we've got a YouTube channel. So just YouTube, In2Mindz. So it's in, number 2, then Minds with a Z, not an S, and it's all as one word, In2Mindz. You can come up there. And all our social channels are at In2Mindz. That's Instagram, Facebook, same with YouTube, and our website is in2mindz.co.uk. The YouTube is brand new. I think it's like a week old. Got some videos coming up, so the videos will include performance videos, which we've been talking about performance. So if you want to see performance live, when we approach a table and they absolutely just love the entertainment, you can see it there. And it's in Angelica's as well, actually, some of it. We'll also be doing, moving forward, deck reviews, magic reviews, book reviews, That's the YouTube side, and then we'll post little snippets on Instagram as well, where we'll be having competitions and some giveaways.
Then when you do a review, we'll do a review of your review.
Oh, wow.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I'll slip you a 20, yeah?
Yeah,
right, guys, thanks a lot for coming. Thanks to everybody.
That's the 20, by the way.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Hey, did I show you guys the amazing glasses trick? All right. See, the way that the amazing glasses trick works, put your glasses on so you can see. All right. All I got to do is...
That's pretty cool.
You like that?
I like that.